Welcome to Backbone Unlimited. My name is Matt Hartsky. In this episode, we're talking about 10 ways to make sure you're actually ready for elk season. And I'm not talking about being excited. And I'm not talking about buying a tag, watching a new video, checking your bow once, and throwing your gear in a tote the week before you leave either. Real elk season readiness is different. It means your body's been tested, your weapon has been proven, your boots have been broken in, your pack has been audited, your maps have been updated, your meat care plan is realistic, and your mind has already rehearsed the decisions that usually break hunters once the mountain gets hard, because elk season exposes what you actually prepared for. Now, if you're not familiar with who I am, I've been hunting and guiding Western big game for over 34 years, and I've been a professional strength conditioning and nutrition coach for more than 30 years, and I'm here to help you become a more successful and consistent elk hunter. So let's break down 10 ways to make sure you're ready before the season starts. The first way to make sure you're ready for elk season is to build hunt-specific conditioning, not just general fitness. There is a big difference between being in shape and being ready to hunt elk in steep country. You might be able to lift hard, run a few miles, or crush a workout, but elk hunting asks for something different. It asks you to climb under load, descend under control, side hill through broken country, recover your breathing after hard efforts, and still make good decisions when your legs are tired. That means your training needs to include uphill work, step-ups, loaded pack carries, lunges, lower back strength, core stability, and controlled downhill movement. The goal isn't to win a workout. The goal is to still be hunting well on day 4 or 14 or 24 when your body's tired, your feet are sore, and the easy motivation is gone. That's real elk conditioning. The second way to make sure you're ready is to shoot from real hunting positions. A lot of elk hunters sight in their bow or rifle and call it good, but being sighted in is not the same as being hunt ready. Elk don't always give you flat ground, calm breathing, perfect lighting, and unlimited time. Sometimes you're kneeling, sometimes you're seated, sometimes you're shooting around brush, across a side hill, from your pack, or after a hard climb when your heart rate is still elevated. And that's why you need to practice all of those things. If you're bow hunting, confirm those broadheads, practice your shot sequence, and shoot from angles that feel like the mountain. If you're rifle hunting, practice sitting, kneeling, prone, pack supported, and fast target acquisition. Know your honest maximum range, not your best day range, right? Not your range when everything is perfect, your real hunting range. That number matters. The third way to make sure you're ready is to prove your boots, socks, and feet before the season starts. Blisters, hot spots, wet socks, heel rub, downhill toe pressure, and foot pain can take a motivated hunter and turn him into a guy who's just trying to get back to the truck. Your feet are part of your hunting system, so don't wait until opening week to find out that your boots are too stiff, or your socks bunch up, or your feet get torn apart under pack weight. Hike in your actual boots. Wear the sock system you plan to hunt in. Test them on uphill climbs and downhill descents. Carry weight. Pay attention to hot spots early. Keep blister treatment in your pack and know how to use it. If your feet fail, your plan's going to fail. So take care of them before the mountain does the testing for you. The fourth way to make sure you're ready is to audit your pack like you're already 3 miles from the truck. Don't just ask, do I have my gear? Ask, can I actually use this system when I'm tired, cold, wet, rushed, or standing over a dead elk? Pull everything out of your pack and rebuild it with intention. Check your kill kit, knives, extra blades, game bags, gloves, cord, flagging, tape, headlamp, batteries, first aid, fire starter, rain gear, water systems, navigation, extra layers, emergency items. Then ask the hard question: what am I carrying because I need it? And what am I carrying because it makes me feel prepared? There is a difference. Your pack should not be a junk drawer with shoulder straps. It should be a field system. Everything has a job, and the most important items need to be accessible when it matters. The fifth way to make sure you're ready is to build your meat care and pack out plan before you ever release an arrow or pull the trigger. A lot of elk hunters prepare for the shot and under prepare for what starts after the shot. An elk on the ground is a great moment, but it also starts the hardest work of the hunt. You need to know how you're going to break that animal down, get the quarters opened up, get meat into game bags, create airflow, find shade, avoid heat problems, and start moving a lot of weight. Do you have enough game bags? Do you know how far you are from the truck? Do you have help? Can you realistically make multiple trips? Are you hunting deeper than your pack out plan can support? That happens a lot, and a lot of meat gets wasted up on the mountain. These questions need answered before the elk is down, because once that animal is on the ground, the clock starts ticking. So be ready for that responsibility. Hey, if you hunt public land elk and you're tired of grinding through random seasons, I built the elk hunting series of ebooks for you. Most hunters don't struggle because they lack effort. They struggle because they lack a system. And that's exactly why I built the elk hunting ebook series as a complete progressive framework for Western elk hunters who are done guessing and ready to hunt with intention. Volume 1 is going to be Foundations and Reality. I reset your mindset and expose the assumptions that quietly wreck seasons. In Volume 2, Finding Elk and Understanding Pressure, you'll learn how elk actually move under pressure so you can anticipate instead of react. In Volume 3, Terrain, Wind, and Position, I break down how to use landscape and thermals to consistently create opportunities. In Volume 4, Calling, Silence, and Pressure, sound becomes a decision tool, not an impulse. In Volume 5, Bow Hunting Execution, we're talking about close range strategy so you can finish your encounters. And in Volume 6, Late Season and Post-Rut, we're talking about how elk shift after the rut and how to adapt when others quit. This is a system built for consistency. This isn't theory. It's a structured system to help you find elk, read country, and make confident decisions every season. Buy each volume individually or bundle them all to save 50% off at backboneunlimited.com. The sixth way to make sure you're ready is to update your maps, your access routes, and your backup plans. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of elk hunters make is trusting old information. The road that was open last year might be closed. The gate you used might be locked. A burn logging operation, weather event, or private boundary issue can change things. Fire restrictions or pressure can shift all of that and can change the entire hunt. So before season, make sure you update your maps, download your offline layers, check your roads, your trailheads, and your access points, private boundaries, water, burn areas, and possible restrictions. But don't stop there either. Build options. You need a plan A, but you also need a plan B and C. You need another drainage, another access route, another elevation band, another way to hunt if the wind, weather, pressure, or elk movement doesn't match your original plan. A good elk plan is not one perfect pin, it's a system of options. The seventh way to make sure you're ready is to scout for patterns, not just sign. Fresh sign matters, absolutely. Rubs matter, tracks matter, droppings matter, wallows matter, but sign by itself can fool you. The better question is, why were elk here, and will they still use this area once hunting pressure starts? That's where a lot of elk hunters miss it. You need to look at the terrain around the sign. Is there bedding security nearby? Feed, water, shade, benches, saddles, escape cover, a pressure barrier, a travel route that makes sense with wind and thermals? A rub in a random spot is one thing. A rub near a bench, timber pocket, trail junction, or bedding edge means something completely different. So stop judging sign by itself and start judging sign by its location. That's how scouting becomes a lot more useful. The eighth way to make sure you're ready is to practice calling decisions. A lot of elk hunters spend too much time asking, can I make the right sound? That matters a bit, but it's not the whole game. The better question is, should I call right now? And if I do, where is that elk supposed to go? Calling is not magic. Calling is a tool. And like any tool, it supports best when the setup makes sense. So before you call, you need to think about wind, thermals, cover, distance, terrain, shooting lanes, and what the elk can see when it comes looking. If your setup allows a bull to hang up, circle downwind, or look into your position before he's in range, your sound might not matter. The best callers are not just good at making noise. They're really good at building the right setup that gives the elk a reason to move in. The ninth way to make sure you're ready is to prepare your food, hydration, and recovery system. This is one of those areas a lot of hunters like to ignore until the hunt starts falling apart. But you can't run hard in elk country for multiple days while under-eating, under-drinking, sleeping poorly, and then expect your body and mind to perform at a really high level. You need to know what foods you can actually eat when you're tired. You need calories that are easy to carry, easy to digest, and easy to keep eating when your appetite dips. You need need a water plan, a filter system, and electrolytes if you're sweating hard. And also, you need to think about your recovery. Dry clothes, sleep setup, evening routine, foot care, stretching, refueling. A lot of hunts don't collapse in one big moment, just slowly fade because the hunter stops taking care of the machine that has to do the hunting. The 10th way to make sure you're ready is to rehearse the decisions that are going to make or break your hunt. This might be the most important one on the list because once the season starts, emotions get involved, right? You get tired, you get impatient, you hear a bugle, you cut fresh tracks, the wind switches, other hunters show up, you start second guessing, and suddenly you're making emotional decisions instead of prepared decisions. So make some rules before you start your hunt. What are you going to do when the wind gets wrong? How long are you going to stay in an area with fresh sign but no elk sound or movement? When will you move? When will you slow down? When are you going to back out? What shot will you take and what shot will you pass? The hunter who's already thought through some of those moments usually handles them better. So readiness is not just gear and fitness, right? It is decision making under pressure. So if you want to make sure you're ready for elk season, don't just measure readiness by your excitement. Measure it by your preparation. Can your body handle the country? Can your weapon performance hold up under real hunting conditions? Are your boots proven? Is your pack actually organized with what you need? Do you have a meat care plan? Are your maps updated? Do you understand patterns, not just sign? Do you understand elk behavior? Do you know when to call and when to stay quiet? Are you fueled well enough to keep hunting hard? And have you already rehearsed the decisions that usually break a lot of hunters once the hunt gets tough? You don't need a perfect season, but you do need a prepared system. So the more you test before the hunt, the less the mountain gets to surprise you when it actually matters. That's how you walk into elk season with confidence. Now, if this episode made you realize you need a better elk plan this season, don't just watch another video and hope it all comes together. Build the plan now. If you want to study my full system on your own, start with my elk hunting series of ebooks. If you want daily guidance, accountability, and a place to ask your questions as season gets closer, join Team Backbone. And if you want my eyes on your actual hunt plan before season, your maps, your terrain, access, pressure points, and strategy, book an elk hunt plan audit with me. The hunters who are ready in September are the ones who start tightening their plan now. So go to backboneunlimited.com right now and choose the path that fits where you are, and we'll get you squared away. Thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the comments. Until next time, train harder, hunt smarter, and never settle.